How did you get started into sports journalism?
So it actually dates back to my early days playing sports in San Francisco, which is not a place that, even despite our huge population, is not a place that's known for producing a ton of professional athletes. And I was, in love with baseball, football, basketball growing up, and I really wanted to find a way to get involved. And I quickly realized that if I wasn't measuring up from a talent standpoint to the other athletes in San Francisco, I wasn't going to measure up professionally. And so I had to find another avenue to get involved. And I always found that sports broadcasters and sports writers produced the kind of content that I loved. I devoured it on the weekends. And so I just felt like if I could find a way to contribute to the sports world through creating content, creating stories and storytelling, that's the way that I wanted to do it.
Nice. How long have you been a sports journalist?
I, on my resume, put 11 years because I started, I had my first paid gig back in high school as a public address announcer. But outside of college, this will be my 5th season covering the San Francisco Giants, and I've been doing it for 6 years professionally.
6 years for a while. That's a great time. I mean, you're barely getting started. You're barely scratching the surface. I know sports writer or sports journalists go for 20, 30 years. We just had one retire recently. I forget his name, but he was a great sports journalist for the Bay Area and for the San Francisco Giants.
Oh yeah, Henry Schulman, my mentor, yeah. the best, the absolute best to do it, in my opinion.
Yeah, he was great. He was had on Twitter. He was just really good at what he wrote and stuff. He was really good at like comebacks and everything. So I do
Absolutely.
like what he had to say. You also created a course for sports journalists or for people to get into it. Can you elaborate a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I created a course called Your Future in Sports Writing back in April and May of 2020, and I did it when I was furloughed from the Bay Area News Group, and so thought I could use the time to kind of give back to a sports writing community that's given me so much. And I always felt like there were so many lessons that I wanted to learn in both high school and college about sports journalism that I didn't get to learn until I was actually sitting in the press box. And so I created a course. You can find it on teachable.com. It's called Your Future in Sports Writing. Collaborated with over 25 different journalists who I really admire, all of them. And they all give such interesting perspectives, such fantastic lessons, and it's really kind of a one-of-a-kind course at this point. And so I'm thrilled that I've been able